So I just went to go buy some new name tapes because I needed some. And the store I went to, great service, decent prices, but I have to admit, they have the most uninspired name of all time. There's a couple doing a photo shoot down there, and it's been very awkward to see them fake dancing in front of traffic. Oh, look at them, they're so fake happy. Definitely not forced. Hello. So as many of you know, I can never actually take anything seriously, so what that normally boils down to is me complaining about things around me or pointing out the absurdities and things that would only happen in a given location with the set norms that are here. So I'm going to be continuing that trend at this location, which I will deem the White Girl Coffee Shop. Don't take offense to the name. I'm an idiot who doesn't know what he's talking about, but just go with it. This particular place I'm at is called the Lighthouse, even though according to the website howfarawayisthesea.com, I'm at least 176 miles away from the Gulf of Mexico. Digress. Brief overview of the demographics I'm finding here. I would say there are at least 30 people here, including myself, although everyone else is inside. I came outside to record this. I have a little bit more self-awareness than that. 2 of them were male, including myself, and 28, as far as I could tell, were female. The other guy appeared a little bit older than me, kind of out of shape, but decent facial hair and fashion sense, and seemed nice enough when he asked me to use the outlet behind my chair. I said yes, of course. I'd say the average age is anywhere between 19 and 21, making me at least 3 years older than the average age here. They're wearing what you'd expect, either some form of loose, oversized sweater for a top, and then either mom jeans or leggings is the bottom. Weird fashion choice though, considering it's 75 degrees. I haven't gotten used to Texas yet. I did a brief overview of what people were wearing as shoes. I'd say half were wearing some form of light Converse, 2 were wearing Doc Martens, and the rest were wearing brightly colored Nike running shoes, although between you and me, I don't think anyone is really doing any running in there. The music being played is pretty much what you'd expect, some form of singer-songwriter who probably wasn't told no enough as a child. The speaker did a decent enough job of filling up the space with sound, however, it was modeled to look like an old Marshall guitar amp, so it probably cost $200 to $300 more than it needed to be. There were 2 servers there, or baristas I guess you could call them. They both looked very busy the entire time, so I've never worked at a coffee shop. I don't actually know what you do in between filling orders, but they're doing a great job of looking busy. Their boss probably would be very happy. If I had to make entirely surface level judgments, which I am, which is kind of the whole point of this video, if I could find any of them on social media, I'd imagine that their bio would include, and I wrote down these, an overused quote from The Office, phrase, "I love going on adventures," although to them an adventure probably meant having 4 White Claws instead of 3 and then Ubering to a Waffle House at 10:30 at night. My camera battery just died, and my charger's nowhere to be found. And because I'm lazy, I'm just gonna go buy a new one. Hello. Okay, battery problem solved. So, short of me complaining more about just superficial things like what people are wearing and music they're listening to, what I loved though about going to that coffee shop, and you see this at like a lot of coffee shops, and also there's just a woman staring at me filming, so I suddenly just got really self-conscious, is that everyone has this incredible ability to just appear busy. And by appearing busy, and you might notice it more now that I'm mentioning it, is that you'll go to these places where people go to show off that they're working, and they're not actually working. So when I was just looking around, I saw at least 20 people out of the 30 on their laptops with something open. Usually it was a Word document that had all the words on it, or an Excel file that seemed super complicated, had a bunch of formulas on it, and this, that, and the other, or the calendar app, and it had all these different alerts and colors and blah, 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 anything you could think of. But if you actually paid attention to what people were doing, they weren't doing anything. They had their laptops open. A couple of people even had other books open on top of their laptops. But it was literally, they would just look at their phone, or they would be talking to the person next to them who was also not working with their laptop open. with complicated stuff open. So my theory is that you've heard of virtue signaling, where people brag about how much they've donated to charity, or they go on a mission trip and they post about it like 10 million times, saying things like, oh, I learned more from them than they did from me, whatever. This is busy signaling. It's proof that you're showing people that you're spinning the wheels, that the gears of progress are turning. Although it's more akin to like the gears on the first gear of a bike, where they're just spinning a lot, but you're not actually really getting anywhere. So it's little intricacies like that I love just looking at and kind of sitting around and observing. Because you don't see it at just coffee shops, you see it at workplaces, you see it all over the internet, social media. It's just one of those instances where people aren't as genuine as they appear. And that's the kind of stuff that I love poking fun at, because it's absolutely ridiculous if you actually think about it. The amount of time and effort it took to just appear busy to a bunch of strangers at a coffee shop in Waco, Texas. Coffee tasted okay, but it was overpriced, and the Wi-Fi didn't work, so I give it 3 silicone hand sanitizer covers out of 5. I thought before going I would talk about one more thing to make this video not just 45 seconds long. Man, the sun is actually kind of blinding, but the lighting's good, so I'll just deal with it. Everyone talks about filming during golden hour, but no one talks about the fact that you're like actively losing your eyesight by staring at the sun. $13 Amazon sunglasses can only do so much. So something I'm surprised has never been brought up, but something I thought I would talk about is why my social media name is this and not this. Notice there's a difference between these two. One is the correct one, formerly Talior, and the other one is probably what would make more sense, formerly Taylor. But there's a reason for that. A brief overview of 16-year-old me. There I am, taking my driver's lessons like everyone else. Finally, the day comes for me to get the test done. If you've ever heard of speed running, it's like manipulating a video game to beat it as fast as possible, and like ways you can't even fathom how fast you can beat the video game. I basically did that, but with failing my first driver's test. Within 15 seconds of the instructor getting into the vehicle with me and telling me to start the car, I backed into the car behind me, thus terminating my chance at getting my license that day. But I like to think that due to the butterfly effect, it led to me getting this name. So the second time around, when I do actually pass, thankfully, and I go to the DMV to get my license, I don't know, maybe the lady was tired or busy or I don't know, anything. Instead of putting Taylor, she put Talior. Funny enough, I didn't even notice for a few months until someone pointed it out to me when they wanted to see my driver's license, because we were 16, it was exciting. And then also at my high school, there's this weird thing where people just called each other by their last names unless you were really good friends with them. So naturally, people stopped calling me Taylor and started calling me Talior. And it took me a few months to actually get my license fixed, because I didn't think it was really that big a deal. Nothing even that came out of it, but eventually, obviously, I had to get it fixed. And when I did, people stopped calling me Talior because they were very disappointed that, unfortunately, my license is fixed now. This, of course, means that I am now formerly Talior instead of Taylor. So if anyone's ever wondered why they think that I misspelled it on accident, it was actually on purpose.